If you have ever wanted the simplicity of GitHub Desktop on Linux, you are in the right place. Although GitHub doesn't officially provide the GitHub Desktop for Linux, thanks to the open source ShiftKey project, we can install and use it easily on Linux Mint, Ubuntu, Fedora, and several other distributions. In this video, I will show you the complete installation process of Linux Mint, sign into GitHub, clone your first repository, and also point out a few known issues you should be aware of. So let's get started. Before installing it, let's quickly see why people like GitHub Desktop. GitHub Desktop provides a clean graphical interface for Git operations, so you don't have to remember dozens of terminal commands. With it, you can clone a repository with just a few clicks, commit and push changes visually, pull updates from remote repositories, create and switch branches, resolve simple merge conflicts, and view commit history. Apart from that, you can even open repositories directly from your favorite code editor. If you are just starting with Git or simply prefer a graphical interface, GitHub Desktop makes version control much easier. Open your browser and visit the ShiftKey GitHub Desktop Linux repository. The link is given in the description. On the installation page, you will find instructions for multiple Linux distributions, including Ubuntu, Fedora, and others. Since Linux Mint is based on Ubuntu, we will use the Ubuntu installation commands. Open a terminal by pressing Ctrl-Alt-T. Now copy the first command from the installation page and paste it into the terminal. In my case, the first command produced a GPG error, so don't worry, sometimes repository keys or mirrors can change over time. I simply tried the second command provided on the page and that worked perfectly. Once the repository has been added successfully, update your package list by running sudo apt update. This refreshes the package database so Linux know about the newly added repository. Now install GitHub Desktop with sudo apt install github-desktop. Type your password if prompted and wait for the installation to finish. It usually only takes a minute or two. The repository setup takes a little while depending on your internet connection. While that's running, let's quickly look at the known issues page on GitHub. Some of the common issues listed includes VLAN related display problems on some Linux distributions, authentication or login issues, notification limitations, certain desktop integration features not working exactly like Windows or macOS, and some experimental features may still have minor bugs. So if you encounter any of these later, it's worth checking the page first. After installation, you can launch it from the application menu or simply type github-desktop in the terminal. A few seconds later, GitHub Desktop should open. The first time you launch the GitHub Desktop, you will be asked to sign into your GitHub account. Complete the browser authentication process. Once signed in, you can either let GitHub Desktop automatically configure your Git username and email or enter them manually if you prefer using custom settings. Either option works perfectly. Now let's clone a repository. Click File and Clone Repository. You will see repositories from your GitHub account. Select the repository you want. Choose where you would like to save it on your computer and click Clone. GitHub Desktop will now download the repository to your local machine. To make sure everything worked, open your file manager and navigate to the folder where you cloned the repository. You will see all the project files there. That confirms the repository has been cloned successfully and is ready for development. And that's it. You now have GitHub Desktop running on Linux Mint using the ShiftKey repository. It's a great tool if you prefer a graphical interface instead of remembering Git commands. Whether you are contributing to open source projects, managing your own repositories, or just learning Git, GitHub Desktop makes the workflow much more easier for beginner friendly. If this video helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment if you run into any issues during installation. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next Linux tutorial.